Let me bring back in my guest, still with me, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor David Bruno, and litigation trial attorney Rich Schoenstein is with me. David, I'll start with you. I want to go back to the nasty neighbor stabbing trial. Not guilty verdict there. Your thoughts on that?
It's my home state, Michael. Like you, I'm very well versed in this law. I was a homicide prosecutor in Morris County. I'm a criminal defense attorney in New Jersey, and I'm with the verdict. I mean, there's a slide that I think was most important that the defense attorney showed, and it was on the duty to retreat. And the duty to retreat does not require retreat in the house, which also includes the garage. And even if there is a duty to retreat, you have to be able to retreat safely. And I think, ironically, in a case we talked a lot about videos and TikTok videos, it was the video that was created of the incident itself that attributed to this acquittal. And that is because we see these three men coming at this 20-year-old, 18, I think, at the time. But they were coming at him viciously, violently, in his own home. And we're seeing it right here. If you haven't seen this video, this is where it happens right here. And this individual, the defendant in the case, was at his house. That's his garage right there. He may be a step outside the garage, but these men come at him, and that is how he's defending himself. So that's where, as a former prosecutor, I probably would not have brought the case, and that is why I believe the jury came back with the acquittals, the not guilties, based on self-defense.
Yeah, what's interesting, the judge actually told the jury they had a question about what the threshold was, and he told them, he said, you decide. You know, we're not going to tell you where there's a specific line, you know, that little line that separates the floor from the garage, from the outside to the driveway. It's for you to decide what's his home, what's his threshold. And ultimately, it looks like they decided he was in the right. Love to get your thoughts, Rich, on that verdict. I mean, at the end of the day, prosecution, you know, I agree with David. They should not have brought this case. But from an interview done with the defense attorneys after our own Ted Rowlands did that interview, there was a suggestion, or at least they seemed to suggest, there was pressure by law enforcement to bring that case.
Maybe so. I don't know about that. I'm tempted to tease David a little bit for taking the defense view so strongly in this case. But at the end of the day, I agree with both of you guys. Once the altercation moved into his garage, I think the case was over. I think at that point, he doesn't have to retreat further. He has a right to defend himself. It's a horrible, stupid fight, a stupid altercation, and it ended tragically. But it's not a murder case. Now, I will say I haven't heard anything about if anybody's going to pursue civil claims. So keep in mind here, the fact that there's a not guilty verdict in the criminal case doesn't necessarily foreclose the victim's family from pursuing civil claims. And I wonder if that's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll have to watch and see if it does. But the question I have, David, you're a criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor in the New Jersey area. Would you bring charges against the family? There's some question that they could be charged with felony murder in this case.
Not felony murder, but definitely there's the trespass, there's the potential assault. I mean, when you look at their actions, they came down the street towards him. And what they should have done, they should have called the police. That's what they should have done. They should have called the police if there was some sort of threat that happened earlier with the vehicle and the pedestrian. Certainly law enforcement is there for that reason. Don't take the actions into your own hands, and that's where they went wrong here. So I don't know about felony murder. I mean, that would be another overreach, I believe, by prosecutors. And on the point of pressure, look, prosecutors have to make independent decisions. And oftentimes they do get pressure from either victims, family members, or police officers. And they have to stand firm because they have the burden of proof in the courtroom, as we saw here today.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And as for that pressure, there's a relationship between police and prosecutors. They exist with each other. They work together. So that pressure is understandable. But again, as you said, there's a higher authority there with prosecutors, and they have to follow that at the end of the day. All right, gentlemen, we're going to take a break right now. When we come back.